Your hair looks great.
Kabir hair is okay.
All right. We are live, Kabir. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
Oh man. Welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jason A. Coombs, and I am artistic director of the artist Kabila. And we're all stuck at home, right? So I was just like, I'm gonna call up some of my friends, some people I don't know. I'm gonna ask them if they want to join me to talk. Just have a good conversations about being an artist, being a creator, a content creator. And Kabir is one of the first people I decided to contact because he just dropped this amazing web series called Swipe to Death. That, full disclosure, I do have a small part in, but it's really fucking good. And I curse a lot, so I'm gonna apologize in advance for my slip ups. I'm gonna post the links and everything in the description after this video is over.
Yeah. It's
So,
swipetodeath.com.
Yes, and KabirChopra.com.
That's right.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I really want to thank you for being a part of this.
Of course, dude. Anything for you. I love this guy. Anything for Jason.
So sweet. You're so sweet. We are going to be taking some questions. If anybody has questions, feel free to write a question in and we'll go back and we'll try to read them. I'm like really excited because this is the first time. I was just telling Kabir before we got on here. This is the first time I've put on a shirt that wasn't a t-shirt in 3 weeks. I literally been wearing sweatpants.
Same here. This is the first time I'm wearing pants that are not sweatpants.
Well, I'm still wearing
sweatpants. You
can't
see my pants.
I mean, that's why I'm still wearing sweatpants and you can't see my pants. Don't I was like,
Are you sure about that?
Lounge pants, shorts for the past few weeks, which is really good. It's really comfy. But I figured I'd put on a nice shirt for Kabir.
That is a nice shirt. I like the shirt. I like the polka dots. It's very springy because now we're in spring officially.
Yeah. So I put my little flower back here. I don't know if you guys can see. It's my first time buying my own flowers, so it's been a little rough. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We have 14 people watching supposedly, so that's really
cool. 14 people. Hello, 14 friends.
I know, I love it. So I'm going to read Kabir's little bio, not little bio, but short bio that's on his website. And it says Kabir Chopra is a South Asian filmmaker and actor and writer and editor. I'm going to add that in there. Based in New York. He graduated with a BFA in dramatic writing from NYU's Tisch School of the Arts and has written and directed several short films and web series. Recently, Kabir released the award-winning web series Swipe to Death, which explores the messy realities of online dating from the perspective of two newly single South Asians in New York. Each episode is based on a true story starring himself and both of our good friends, Rima Sampat, who's on Orange is the New Black. The pilot episodes have gained over 10,000 views and has screened at over 11 film festivals. And we're going to just talk about your process through Swipe to Death. We'll talk about some of your other work. We'll talk about some of your inspirations and what it's like being a South Asian filmmaker in New York City and the world. Yeah, and I'm just really happy you're here. I'm really thankful that you decided to join me on this very first one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And thank you for dealing with technical glitches and whatnot. Yeah, so we'll keep going, my friend. You were just saying how you were doing. You said that you were doing pretty good. You know, you're by yourself. I'm by myself as well. All my roommates left. So it's been a little bit interesting. And you said you're doing pretty well though?
Yeah, I think, I'm seeing a lot of positives for me in this quarantine, just being able to, cut out all the distractions and get some good work done. I'm writing a lot more, exercising more, watching a lot of more movies. So
yeah, you say you just watched Drive for the first time before we got disconnected.
No, I rewatched Drive.
Rewatched it. Oh, rewatched Drive. Yeah,
billionth time because it's one of my favorite movies.
What do you like the most about Drive?
Not gonna lie, it's Ryan Gosling's Scorpion jacket.
Oh yeah,
and I have a replica of that. Actually,
do you really?
In my closet somewhere. I'll find it.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
You dressed up like him for Halloween?
I actually did dress up as him for Halloween.
He's just called the man, right?
It was like that Halloween. And then I bumped into another dude on the street with the same outfit. I'm like, no, go home. No. There can only be one driver.
Only one. That's so funny. So tell us first about Swipe to Death. Like, this has been, I'm not sure if anybody missed it, but it has gotten into 14 film festivals, web festivals. It's been seen by over 10,000 people, the first 2 pilot episodes. Can you tell us about it? A little premise for those who haven't seen it yet?
Yeah. So Swipe to Death, it's a web series about online dating. It's a comedy, and just taking people's real life dating stories. Some of them are my own, some of them are from my friends, and we're adapting people's weird and interesting dates. Not necessarily like the worst, craziest date or the best day in the whole world when we got married, but like
Yeah.
the stuff in between, the stuff that's weird or interesting, cute,
Yeah.
and just unique. And
Yeah.
so we just started collecting stories from my friends, and then I started writing them as scripts, and then we went out and shot it. And half the episodes are from my character's point of view, where I go on dates with different women. And
Your
then
character's Jay, right?
what's that?
Your character's Jay.
Yeah, my character. His name is Jay. Don't ask me.
Yeah.
And then the other half is following the female point of view. Rima's character as she goes on new dates with new dudes, and the finale, maybe something interesting happens.
Ooh, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Watch it.
And full disclosure, I have a little appearance in 2 episodes, which was really, really cool. Thank you for casting me.
Of course. You're awesome. You're amazing. I needed you in
it. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. And, we both have known Rima for so long, and getting to work with her was really cool. Again, playing her best friend, which is like pretty much what we did for like 5 years, working together and being friends, of course. This was easy as fuck. So that was awesome. Yeah. So I guess my next question is, like, how the whole process start?
Yeah, so
they're based on dating stories.
Yeah, so
friends.
The first step was just going on a ton of dates. So that was fun and interesting. I used dating apps a lot in my early to mid 20s, actually throughout my 20s.
Yeah.
And
what's your app? Which one you mostly use?
I use a bunch. I started with OkCupid, and then Coffee Meets Bagel, and then later on I used Hinge. Yeah. And
Tinder?
I tried Tinder, wasn't working for me.
No one ever responds.
I could not match with people, and if I did match with them, I'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" and then they'd never respond.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, screw this. I'm not gonna. I guess I'm not cool enough for Tinder. That's just.
I don't think any of us are, to be honest.
I don't know. I guess yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went on a bunch of dates, and some were good and some were strange and interesting. And it was the strange and interesting ones that inspired me to start writing these out. And then one day,
they're all based on a true story, right? Like all.
Yeah, they're all based on true stories.
Yeah.
And so one day on Facebook, I just did a post. I'm like, "Hey friends, tell me your craziest, weirdest, oddest dating stories." And then the floodgates just opened. Like all my friends just bombarded me with different stories.
Because it's so relatable.
Yeah, everyone's had a bad date. It's just a universal thing. And a lot of the stories were really hilarious and cringeworthy. So and a lot of them came from women. And so that's why I wanted to make a dual protagonist story where you see, a woman's journey on a dating app, which is very different from a man's journey. So
yeah.
Get both sides of it.
Yeah.
And then that's how Swipe to Death was born.
That's awesome. And then you did a lot of workshopping. I think I was there for a couple of those.
Yeah, you were there for the table reads.
Yeah. So did you write them all at once, or did you write one at a time? Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I outlined about 9 episodes.
Gotcha.
And then I started writing them out one by one. Mm-hmm. And then it took me about a year. So this is 2015 to 2016.
Yeah.
To write like the first real draft of the season. and it was like 90. It's like 90 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
9
like a
episodes, 10
feature
minutes
film. It's
each.
like 9 episodes. Each one was like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a table read at Tamasha, which is an amazing South Asian performing arts festival.
Yeah. That was so fun.
Yeah,
And
and
did you win something?
yeah, and then we won best table read, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, we haven't even shot it yet, and we're already winning stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a huge vote of confidence.
Aww.
And then from there, we just hustle. We got some money together, and then we shot just the first 2 episodes. Just to
one from your character's perspective and one from Rima's perspective.
Exactly.
So it was like a co-pilot type of thing.
Yeah. So it's like
together.
It's a dual pilot, co-pilot, pilot.
I think it's really like you don't really see that. I feel like usually. So I love that whole idea of like these 2 stories that are going like congruently together. That eventually, I don't want to ruin it, but yeah.
And I kind of based it off of High Maintenance because that was a web series, and they release episodes in batches, so they release like 3 or 4 episodes at a time.
Yeah.
And because they're not directly related to each other, it doesn't really matter what order you watch them in.
Yeah.
You're still getting the same story.
I've auditioned for that show like 3 times. I need to get on it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And where can we watch?
You can watch them on swipedtodeath.com.
Which I'll definitely post in the little comments or whatever.
Yeah, and all 7 episodes are streaming for free on YouTube, so you can binge them all right now.
That's fantastic.
I mean, not right now, because you should watch us talk.
After our broadcast, yeah.
After the broadcast has ended, you should immediately go to swipetodeath.com and watch them.
You should get like a glass of wine, I feel like. You should get some snacks.
Yeah.
Put it on your big screen if you can do that. It's real. I was telling Kabir yesterday, because we met yesterday, to just like go over like the outline for today. And like, this is our first one that we're doing of the Creators Corner. And I was just like, I was so impressed by you and the work that you put out. I mean, I love the first 2 episodes. I was there for the reading. We workshopped it a couple times, I think, at Artist Kabila over the years, like a couple episodes.
Yeah.
So I've seen this in so many different times and the growth of this project. So that was like amazing to see, number one. But then to see how the whole season came together. So it wasn't just like 2 co-pilot episodes and then like things just trailed off, This was like a whole full season of like very high quality work. The acting, I think, not me, but like from you and Rima as the leads, like carrying this show, plus from the ensemble. You have such a great ensemble of actors as well. What was that like?
I feel like over the years I've just collected amazing people and I just keep them in my pocket, like and Rima and Tim, who plays my witty British roommate, and Sarah, who plays Rima's sassy confidant, and I keep telling people like, I love you. I'm gonna cast you in this. I don't know how or when or what, but I got you. It might take me a few years, but I got you. And then finally, when I had the script, I'm like, all right, you know what? We're shooting. Show up to set here. Here you go. And then we just made it happen.
Yeah, I'm like that the same. When I was doing my web series, Shaw, was like I had so many people that I just love. I was fortunate to work at an acting school, so I got to be introduced to all this amazing talent. And plus I was in a class as well with so many fucking talented people. Like Rima was in my class, Tim was in my class that you cast as your best friend. Like, so it was the same thing for me, kind of. Was like, I want you to be in this. I'm going to write a role for you. Was it like, did you write with people in mind at all? Or was it just like, I have this awesome character, you would fit this? Like, I mean,
like immediately I knew when I started writing this, I knew I wanted Tim as my roommate.
Yeah.
Because like we're like that in real life. Like he's always like the clever, smart ass. He's always busting my balls. And I'm like, you know what? This is I want to transfer this dynamic on screen.
Yeah.
And then, for Faro's character, I started writing. I didn't know who I wanted to cast it. So I just started writing the character, and she felt um, not empty, but like she was missing something. And then I was just out with Rima um, at like a film festival. I think we were at Tribeca,
Yeah.
and then I said this brainwave. I'm like, whoa, she's Farah. I'll just make her Farah. And then
Yeah.
I told her, I'm like, I'm gonna cast you as the lead in my series. She's like, okay, awesome. And then as soon as I got
Okay,
that, I started
Kabir.
tailoring the script to Rima and her voice, and then she just came to life. I'm like, all right, this is it. There's no going back now. Rima's
I
Farah,
mean,
and Farah's
she's
Rima.
so good in it. Like honestly, like I've seen her act so many times. Like I said, we were in class together. But she just has so many levels when she's playing this character that are so genuine. And I feel it's just so relatable, you know. Episode 7 is my favorite. I don't want to give too much away.
No, Rima is amazing, and there's no way we could have done this without her.
Definitely. And she's also on Orange is the New Black in the last 2 seasons, I believe. So which brings me to my next question. Like, what was it like working with, you have some pretty like big up and comers, I feel like, in this web series. Like Rima, there was like Austin Michael Young, who's been on Black Mirror and Gotham, and Gerard Lobos, I think he was on Orange is the New Black as well. And
Yes,
he's also like on Blacklist and Kimmy Schmidt. So you have like all these like, you know, these actors who are like on the next level, you know. So how was that working with them?
Well, I mean, well, with the exception of Austin, I knew those guys for years and years. Gerard and I have done like a bunch of shorts together. I cast him in a short film I did years ago.
That's awesome.
We acted in a bunch of plays, and we've been friends for so long. And I'm like, you know what, I can slip him in here, and he'll be great.
Yeah.
And then Austin, I was actually introduced to him through Ami, and Ami is another one of our star actors who I go on a date with in the series. And I for his role, he was the only character who I did not have an actor in mind for, because I just didn't know anyone who could fit that role. So I did like a Facebook casting call. I'm like, hey, I need someone to play a sleazy, you know, investment banker type.
Yeah.
I got a lot of responses, but you know, I still wasn't sure. And then Ami just tagged him, and then you know, we emailed, and he sent this hilarious self tape, and I'm like, all right, that's my guy.
Aw.
And
You have such a good cast. Like there's so many great people in it. It's such a joy to watch. And I was telling you yesterday that this could be on you know, Netflix or Hulu, Amazon. Like I think the quality is that good.
I would love that. Netflix, if you're watching this, we need
Netflix.
To talk. Let's talk.
Yeah. We're gonna put that out there that it needs to be on
Netflix.
I'm
ready.
Can you talk about crowdfunding for Swipe to Death a little bit, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
That process, like, you had a very successful campaign to finish the last 5 episodes.
Yeah. Crowdfunding, it's fun, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the strategy was we wanted to already have a couple episodes out there, so people have something to watch, so they can, as like a proof of concept. So just to prove to people that, hey, I'm not just talking out of my ass, you know, like we already shot 2 episodes. So if you like the pilots, you'll love the rest of the show. So give us money.
Yeah.
And you know, it took us a while to even kick that off. Like we had a lot of false starts, and you know, the key to successful crowdfunding is it's in the prep. It's 2 or 3 months before you even launch the campaign.
Yeah.
You know, just emailing people, texting people, DMing people, saying, hey, I know you love Swipe to Death. We're fundraising. Could you give us $20, $50, or however much you want to give? Even $5. I'll take $5.
I mean, $5 is like crafty, you know?
Yeah.
$5 is like 2 egg and cheeses for your cats for breakfast.
Exactly. That pays for like 2 coffees for me.
Exactly. Yeah. When you're on set like for 10 hours, you know, you need that extra boost of coffee. That $5 is going to come in handy.
Goes a long way.
It's so true.
And yeah, I mean, we ran the campaign in June, and then we raised
Of
36,000
last year, right? Of 2019.
Yeah, 2019, June
Yeah.
2019, we raised 36,000, and that
Yeah.
was enough to get it done.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
the quality is top notch. Like I remember the day that one of the days I was on set for 2 days with you was that day we were outside of the producers club, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like a noisy day. There was like all these tourists.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sure that happened to you a lot, but
Yeah.
I remember I was there for that
A
specific.
lot of tourists. A lot of people stopping our shoot, trying to get into
trying to get
our
it,
web
looking into the
series.
camera.
Oh my god.
So like when you have stuff like that, and it seems like there's like a lot of issues, like it's nice to see that like that didn't come across in the final product. Like there was nothing I thought that was like, oh, this is amateurish. You know, this like it's very good quality. You should be so proud. I feel like.
Well, I gotta hand that to my crew. I had a killer, badass crew. Lucas Lopez, I could marry that guy. Like he is amazing behind the camera. I can give him my iPhone. He'll make it look like an Alexa. Like he's brilliant and one of the coolest, calmest, sweetest DPs I've ever worked with. And we had great sound mixers too. We had Edwin, we had Leo, Lauren Banjo. Like it was so crazy. Like that the in the final episode, there's a scene where Rima and I are walking down the street. Our spoiler alert, things happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's all this construction happening like 2 blocks behind us and jackhammering on Madison Avenue on a Sunday at 8:00 at night. And so like Rima and I, we like do our lines. I'd be like, so what do you think we should do? And as soon as they stop, we'd like start doing the scene again. Like all in one take. I've got like a 10-minute take of just us and then just editing that out. Oh man.
I've been there. I know what that's like. I always shot most of my web series outside, so I totally get that.
Yeah. New York it's a beautiful place to shoot, but it is a very hard place to shoot.
Very challenging, yeah. We're gonna take some comments from the viewers who are out there.
Questions, comments.
I'm gonna ask one more, but if you have a question, feel free to ask it. I'm gonna go to the comments in a second. Transitioning to I have one more question about the Swipes of that process, which I guess can go into my next question as well, is like what it's like for you as an actor, as also the writer, as the director on this 7-episode journey, and I'll give my thoughts after yours.
Yeah, I mean it's not easy wearing a lot of hats all at once, especially the days where I was directing and acting were definitely the hardest for me. It's because my mind is in a million different places. But luckily I had an amazing crew. Lucas and Catherine, my AD, that kept me.
Catherine is a beast. She's great.
Yeah.
And she holds that shit down.
She runs a tight ship, and she's been one of our biggest fans of the show since day one. So I love her for that. And the crew really kept us on point, and Alicia, our production coordinator, coordinated magic. And I think I could not have done this without my crew. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, for real.
And if I didn't have a good crew, it would have taken much longer, and the quality would not be what it is. So
true.
So much love.
Always, because I did that for my web series as well. Carrie directed the first 5, and I stepped in as director for 6 because I was like nervous. I was like, I don't know if I can handle like having written this and then being the lead of this, and then having the director's hat on as well. So I kind of like was like, okay, I'm gonna trust someone who is awesome and amazing, and I'm gonna have them kind of like be the captain, to bring everything together. And then of course, like I'm gonna give my thoughts and my opinions, but it was nice to be like, okay, for the next hour, I'm gonna have actor hat on, and I'm just gonna be an actor. I'm gonna have to try to remember these fucking lines that I wrote. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And then, you know, I was like, someone else is there, like, you know, I can take off that hat and I can like, okay, Carrie, this is all you, but I'm gonna sneak behind you and just like take a, you know what I mean? I'm gonna put the other hat on, take the, you know. So that was, I agree that you need that crew, you need those people there to support you 110%. You know, you can't do it without them.
Yeah, and you also need people around you who are excited, who are passionate, who can, you know, root for you because, as you know, filmmaking is incredibly stressful.
Oh my
And
God.
you're on a schedule, you're on a budget, and then there's
Yeah.
things that go wrong that keep popping up, and then
All the time.
so many fires to put out, and
It's like
it
nonstop,
wears on
nonstop,
you.
fire after fire after fire.
And then you're running on 2 hours of sleep, and you're just so tired. You just need someone to be like, yeah, we can do this.
And like I've been fortunate to be on like professional sets as well as independent sets, and it's like always kind of the same. It's like, you know, of course, like a professional set is run a little bit cleaner because they're bigger budgets and whatnot, but it's still like fires to be put out, like no matter what level of this you get on, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the problems don't go away the more money or the bigger your budget, the bigger your crew is.
Yeah.
In fact, they probably do get bigger. As your production gets bigger, your problems get bigger, but it's the same thing. You know, it's just dealing with it on a different level.
Cool. I'm going to take a question from Carrie Vishwanathan, who we were just talking about, that we
Yeah.
love so much.
What up,
He
Carrie?
says, Kabir, how do you figure out what rewards to give your Kickstarter campaigns? That's question one. And part two to that question is promising merchandise a requirement?
You definitely don't need merchandise. I actually tried to stay as far away from merchandise as I could because
And that cuts into your
yeah, it cuts
money.
into your bottom line, and then it's so much more time that you have to spend ordering T-shirts and hats and posters, and then packaging them and then mailing them to your backers, and like, and what I've noticed a lot of times is like, I've contributed to, you know, friends' projects and whatnot, and you know, I don't need a coffee mug, I don't need a poster, I don't need a sticker. I mean, all right, stickers are cool because you can put them on things, but
yeah,
like it's at some point, you know, they're gonna get thrown away or lost or whatnot. Like I think being part of an experience is more rewarding, and so
you did a lot of experience-based rewards, right? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we offered set visits. I offered doing consultations through video. We had a couple of those. We what else did we do? I offered a date.
Didn't you guys do a date with Kabir?
Yeah, one person bought a date with me.
Did that go through?
Well, we will schedule it once this.
Once this is over.
Goes away, but yeah, I've got a date on the books.
So you think that more like the experience rewards are better?
Yeah, and I think it should be proportional to, you know, how much people give and what, you know, you want to make sure people are getting value out of their dollar amount. So like I promise anyone who gave $25, you know, you'll get to watch it at least a few days before everyone else does.
Yeah.
And you know, for at least $100, you'll get a special thanks credit.
Yeah, in the credits in the episode.
Yeah,
in the credits. You get to see your name, which is like for people. Like people who don't do what we do, I feel like they're always like my family gets like really excited for me.
Yeah.
Like I did my most recent thing was I did Tommy, and I had one line that was like so quick. Like you saw me for literally like 2 seconds, and like I got so many calls and texts because people were just like, you know, they were in this like film business, right? We're in entertainment, so they get so excited, which is awesome. So I think people seeing their name on something that's going to be seen by 10,000 people, like Swipe to Death, is really, really fun and exciting for them. Or like being on like IMDb is really, really cool.
Yeah. Some people really love that. And people get excited about different things. Like some people, you know, they don't really care about, you know, being on set, but they want to walk the red carpet with the actors.
Yeah.
And other people, you know, they might not want to be in the spotlight or on the red carpet, but seeing their name on IMDb
Yeah.
is so rewarding. And so you want to offer a couple different things, so everyone's happy. Everyone can find something to get excited about.
That's awesome. And I also agree that because I try my best to donate. Like whenever my friends are doing something, like a Kickstarter, I try to do my best. If it's depending on work or whatever, if I can do $20, if I can do 30,
Yeah.
if I sometimes I've done just 10. But like it's just like I like you, so I want to support you. It's not really about getting the t-shirt or getting a sticker. Like it's about my friends are doing something that I want to support them any way I can.
Exactly.
So,
And it really isn't about the dollar amount. It's just participation, because those numbers help a ton. The fact that, I have 190 backers, that's 190 human beings that believe in this
let's do
project.
this. They're Team Kabir.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. Great question, Carrie. Yeah, we're gonna take more questions throughout. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm gonna read them. I have my phone here. Can you tell us more about your background in film? I know you went to NYU for writing.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah. So I went to NYU. I did the dramatic writing program at Tisch.
How long was that program?
4-year, undergrad program. Got my BFA. Did some film production classes there. Did some acting classes there, and then my junior year, I started interning for Mira Nair, and she was one of my favorite directors of all time. And she did The Namesake, she did Monsoon Wedding, all my favorite movies, and she was in pre-production for The Reluctant Fundamentalist, starring this guy named Riz Ahmed, who I didn't really know at the time because he wasn't that famous, but now he's like freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
So I started interning for her, and I was her assistant for 2 years, and I got to be on set on like major indie film production, and with stars like Kate Hudson and Liev Schreiber.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from that was I got to walk Riz to the subway and teach him how to use the Q train.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so freaking cool. How much I love Riz. You wrote that into your fucking script for me.
Oh yeah. I know you, Jason.
When I read that, I was like, Kabir wrote this because we went to see Riz.
Yeah, we did. We saw him.
Yeah.
He's on talk at Princeton University.
He's like literally like one of my favorite actors of this like generation. Like the night of, I only watched that originally because my like personal mentor Victor was in that, and I remember watching it to support Victor. I was so happy I did because like it's a phenomenal show, and Riz's transition through that series from like this like kind of geeky, like sheltered, innocent young man into like what he becomes by the end of it is like the acting was so phenomenal, and like he doesn't get enough praise for that, I think.
Yeah, I mean
I could talk about him for days.
He won an Emmy for that.
I mean, rightfully so. Like, give him all the fucking awards for that. Like, it was like a masterclass in acting. And John Turturro, I honestly like they're both were so incredible. But I just think his transformation was just so incredible.
Oh yeah.
So inspiring, and I love watching his talks and like, I mean, his music and the way that his artistry is just keeps on expanding, and it comes from this place of like him as this like his personal projects is like him as someone with like Pakistani parents who raised in like Britain, and then having this like hip hop influence as well. I just think it's so fascinating and how he incorporates all that into his art. Just I can go on about him for days. Sorry, it's about you, Kabir. It's about you.
I know. You got a little crush on Riz. We all do.
Cool. Other projects. So you have. I was watching some of your stuff again today and yesterday. Like you have. I Hate Christmas, which I was in. But like Misaligned, and you have Ghosted. You've been workshopping another script we know each other very well, you guys. Like we've been friends for a long time. So like the astrology,
Yeah,
astrological that you
that's all
workshopped in a class that we were in together, and then you just brought back to our Sunday meetings recently. Tell me more about your other work, I guess, and I'll ask
yeah,
my question.
yeah. So yeah, I have another YouTube channel called Random Fox that I co-run with a couple friends, and
Awesome.
we would just turn out a bunch of like funny, quick shorts, and they're usually based on like a theme or on a holiday. So we did one on Valentine's Day, and then we did one on Christmas. So that's when I cast Alana in,
Yeah,
called
yeah,
Happy Christmas, and just like we did like a lot of funny sketch videos,
yeah,
and then a couple years ago I did a short film called Misaligned,
yeah.
starring Gerard Lobo, and that
Mhm.
went to a couple festivals, and now I'm rebooting that project as a feature film called
That's
Astrological, which is
yes.
about dating and astrology. It's a romantic comedy, and yeah, you got to get a little sneak peek of the script for that. So I'm sending that script out to some contests, and I'm going to
Yeah.
try to start getting the momentum going to start producing my own feature film, which is an exciting next step from Swipe to Death.
What I like about your work, and I was like realizing this as I was, looking at your stuff and remembering like you in class and whatnot, is that you always have this like recurring theme. I'm not sure if it's always, but what I've seen a lot of your work is about this like love. And it's like, oh, like Kabir, he's like such like a romantic at heart, I feel like.
I am a hopeless romantic.
Do you agree with that? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think all artists, like, you kind of find your niche, you find what you're into, and sadly for me, it's romantic comedy, but maybe not
Not
sadly.
sadly at all. It's so
I
cute.
I think it's just what I enjoy writing about the most, and I think it's one of those genres where everyone's kind of an expert in romantic comedy, so it's really hard to bullshit people because
Yeah.
everyone's been through breakups, everyone's fallen for someone way out of their league, everyone's had a bad date, everyone's had a great date, and
Yeah.
everyone has stories about that. So I think those stories are more universal.
Yeah. But they're told through your perspective, through your lens as a South Asian filmmaker, which is different than what my lens would be, different than what Riz Ahmed's lens would be. Everybody has that specific thing that they're coming from, which I think is very fascinating, which is why I always enjoy your work and when you share your work with us. Yeah. I guess then my next goes into my next question is like, what's it like being a South Asian filmmaker? Like, was there a lot of representation growing up? I know you said you got to work with Mira, which was really fucking phenomenal, but like, was there a lot of like people you saw yourself in?
Yeah,
Like, how was
yeah. Growing up, there really wasn't much or any um, representation that I saw,
it?
um, aside from like a couple movies here and there. I'm an Indian kid who was born and raised in the East Coast,
Mhm.
between New York and New Jersey, and yeah, the closest I got was seeing Cal Penn in American Daisy and in The Namesake.
Mhm.
And then that's when things kind of start opening up. I was like, whoa, that's someone who looks like me, sounds
Yeah.
like me, you know, like an Indian American who's trying to figure out life and dating and, what they want to do in life. And those are the kinds of stories I wanted to tell.
Mhm.
And so those were some early influences. And, now, I think now is a great time to be a South Asian filmmaker. And I'm very fortunate, while I was at NYU, I started volunteering at the New York Indian Film Festival and made some amazing lifelong friends from that. And
Yeah.
from that experience, I met Mira Nair at the festival and I got an internship with her. And
Mhm.
that opened so many doors. And I met so many people through that. And now, I'm engaged in this really strong South Asian filmmaking community of actors and directors and writers
It's amazing.
who want to meet up and they want to collaborate. They want to make like awesome shit.
Yeah.
And so, and now I'm starting to see that grow in other cities too, in LA. And, you know, I was out in LA and, you know, there's an amazing film festival put on by Productive Culture. It's called the South Asian Film Festival of America.
Yeah.
And, you know, they want to focus not just on South Asian stories, but South Asians in America. Because that's the other, you know, missing gap that I've noticed is that, well, there's a lot of, you know, film, South Asian film in America. A lot of it's like films set in India, made in India or Pakistan, or the region, and then they're just played in America.
Yeah.
And there wasn't so much, you know,
made here,
like me who grew up here in our city. So that's what I wanted to focus on.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I always was not jealous, but like, because Carrie, my roommate, is also South Asian, so he would go to those meetings a lot, and like I know Rima would do. I always like loved that. I always like just found that so awesome that you guys have that, you know. Because it's so important, especially when like now we live in a time, right, where there's more acceptance and you're seeing more representation, you're seeing more people who look like you. It's like everybody wants diversity now, but like like wasn't it always like that, you know? Like 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, it wasn't like that. So to have that community of support and of different people, like actors, writers, directors, is so important, which is kind of why I wanted to make something like the Artist Kabila, to have community, which
exactly.
is to my next
you're
question.
Creating community right now. You're creating a home of actors who meet up every Sunday to share their work, and that's amazing. And we need that. We need more Jasons in the world.
That's too kind. Thank you. But what does community mean to you, to Kabir?
To me, community means it's a combination of things. It's a home. It's a group of people who want to support each other and they want to help each other out, and they're brought together by, you know, a single cause. And then, you know, you trust that, you know, you've got my back and I've got your back.
Yeah.
And you're together, you work towards the greater good of that group. And so for our space, you know, like a filmmaking community, I'm part of a South Asian filmmaking community in New York. I'm also part of just a general filmmaking group called Film Shop, where, you know, it's not, you know, brought together by race per se, but by a group of filmmakers who
want to create,
grow.
Yeah.
And so I would just suggest to people, you know, you just got to find your peoples, find a group, find that one thing that brings you together, and then start making it home.
Especially we see how important that is in like times like where we are right now, where there's so much uncertainty, so much anxiety. They're like my biggest thing about this whole like COVID-19 situation, besides like, and I don't want to talk about too much, I want this to be a place where we can get away from the news for just a little bit, you know, but it's kind of unavoidable at this point. But it's just like, we all need support at the end of the day, you know, and it's like, if you can give a little more, and whatever giving is to you, whether it be like financially, or whether it be like creating a space, or whether it be like, you know, coming up with resources, like whatever you can do to give and to support one another, it's going to come back to you, I feel like, because we all need each other at this point. We're all facing this together, you know, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's finding new ways now that, you know, we're all stuck at home and some of us are by ourselves for, you know, an uncertain amount of time. You know, I think now is a great time. It's kind of like someone described this to me recently. It's kind of like a big reset.
Yeah.
It's like you're pushing the reset button on life. Yeah. And, you know, there is a lot of chaos and turmoil and, you know, anxiety out there. I think there is a lot of opportunity for people to come together in a new way. And that's exciting to me.
It is very exciting. And to just, you know, just support one another, because we all need it. no matter how strong you are, you still need something. Like I have, some of my friends that have kids, and like I can't imagine being a parent through this. It's like,
Oh my
holy
God.
shit. So it's just, I guess, my message, getting on my soapbox, is just be as supportive and as open and as available to people as you can be in the most healthiest way for you. You don't want to be taking on too many other people's problems when you have your own problems. But if you can be, then you should be. Let me take another question from our group,
More questions.
our audience. Demi, hi Demi.
Hi,
Demi says, "What do you hope audiences take away from watching Swipe to Death, especially in this technology-driven society?" Fantastic question. Wow.
Don't ghost people. One of many things I hope people take away. No, I think it's, there's a lot of things. I made Swipe to Death a lot for fun, and I wanted to show the weird shit that happens on dates as well. So I just hope people take away, like, look, we're all human beings. It's okay if you don't connect with someone, but treat people with respect, treat people well. That's all.
One of my favorite episodes is the one where like you get ghosted by that girl who's just like messaging you like random times, like, "Hey, you up?" And then you respond the next day. And we've all been there. I feel like everybody has had that ghosting experience, whether you've been a ghoster, unfortunately, yourself, or you've been the ghostee, which I feel most people have been the ghostee.
Yeah, I've been on both sides of that. I have been a ghoster in the past. I will admit that for sure. And something I'm not proud of, but
Kabir.
But like now I'm a lot more aware of it, and I think people are becoming a lot more aware of it. And now I've actually learned where there's some cases where it is actually better to ghost someone than to keep engaging and try to have a final goodbye if it's like a very weird, toxic potential situation. Sometimes it is okay to straight up ghost, but most other times, like if you had a good connection and or if the other person had a good connection with you, but you might not see it that way and they're still engaging with you, then maybe it's better off just rip the Band-Aid off, say, "Hey, I had a great time, but I don't see it going that way."
Yeah. Being upfront, being open and honest, right? That's like the best thing you can do. And just treating people with decency. And like you said, like I've been a ghoster. I'm not even gonna lie, but it's just like kind of like treat people how you want to be treated and be more kind. That's like my mission in life, is just try to find ways to be more kind.
I like that.
Take another question. Elsa Alvarez. Hey Elsa. Elsa says, "Was it easy to get permits to the locations you filmed?"
Good question. Some of them yes, some of them no. Mm-hmm. So for all the apartment scenes were either at my apartment for the first episode or my friends' apartments, and so those were a bit easier. Just ask your friends really nicely, like, "Hey, can I film in the apartment?" Make sure you have insurance, and just treat the location better than you would your own home. The bar locations, take pictures. If you move things, move them back. Exactly. The bar locations were a lot trickier. I was lucky for that episode where the girl ghosted me. My friend Ajna was the manager of this beautiful Indian restaurant called Pondicherry in Flatiron. Sadly, it just closed. But she herself is an actor and filmmaker, and so she was very much on board to let us film. It just had to be during a certain time period. Other bars, we asked them, but they wanted a lot of money, and because they're used to having like big film and TV productions, like Law and Order, rented out and spend like $5,000 a day. And so you just got to keep going. You just got to keep asking and asking. A trick I learned is, at least in New York, if you want to find a bar to film in, find a bar that has like a private back room or like a
Ooh.
terrace or a basement or
Yeah, yeah,
some
yeah.
private room that they rent out for special events, and
Yeah.
then just rent it out or promise to buy, food and drink.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
if you do it on a very slow day for them, chances are they'll probably
Appreciate
let
that
you take
shit,
it.
bro. That's awesome. That's such a good idea. I never thought about that. That's a really
Yeah.
good idea. I've always done or tried to do like the when they're not busy or like on days when they're closed or whatever, but
Mhm.
that's a fantastic idea. We'll take another question. Um, sorry. Carrie says, "What up, stud muffins?"
What
uh,
up?
Carrie said, "I thought Jay improvised a Riz line. No, I didn't. That was in the script." um, Prashant is watching. Hey, Prashanti. He says, "Miss you
Prashanti.
guys, Kabir and Jason. Very proud of you guys on such a well done show." Yeah,
Oh, thanks, Prashant.
saw this guy. Elsa says, "Thank you for
Oh,
that great advice."
thank you, Elsa, for the
Um,
great question.
yeah, we're gonna start wrapping it up. Even though I could talk to you honestly
Likewise.
for hours. Um, but I want to know a little bit more about Kabir. What do you do? I guess I would frame this as I had this really great teacher, acting teacher for a while, and she basically her big thing was like, yes, study your craft, be an amazing actor, study, 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 but to be an even better actor, you need to be an interesting person. You need to be able to do other things besides just talk about acting when you meet people, and like to be able to like have different skills besides just being a good actor, because that's going to help your acting eventually. um, so I always want to know what other creators and actors like. What do you do besides being an actor? Any hobbies? Anything you do for fun?
Yeah. Recently, I'll tell you, I built a PC for the first time.
Oh wow!
Uh,
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
like it's always been like a teenage nerdy dream of mine, just because I was a big, gamer. I still kind of am,
Yeah,
and I've always wanted to, like, since I was 16 years old, I've always wanted to build my own custom PC, like this big tower with all these flashing lights.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I finally pulled the trigger, and I, you know, just ordered the parts. I researched. I'm like, all right, I know what I need, because I do, I got a lot of editing, and I need,
You do, yeah,
I need to upgrade my computer anyways,
yeah,
to finish Swipe to Death, um, 'cause- and I want to be able to start editing 4K footage and
yeah.
process that um, easily. So yeah, I just looked up all the parts, did a ton of research, watched an unhealthy amount of YouTube videos and
Yeah.
tutorials, and then
Thank God for YouTube.
in one night I put together a PC and booted it up, and it was
Awesome.
fine. Now I'm playing games on it.
Congrats. Do you have a survival job besides being a filmmaker? I know you had
I do.
you're a teaching artist too.
Yeah, I just started teaching, which is really cool. I taught a class this past weekend on how to create your own content, everything from writing a script to production to post production. And I'll be
Yeah,
teaching more classes. I can let you guys know when the next one is.
that's awesome.
And then yeah, I do have a job. I work from home. I work for a nonprofit and a for-profit, and I do video editing for them, storytelling. I kind of manage all their storytelling content, and yeah, it's been going pretty well. It gives me the flexibility to do stuff like this.
Good, yeah. That's really cool. Where do you see yourself in 5 years once we get past this COVID shit? Like, what is?
Years. It's hard to imagine
Yeah,
5 years from now when I can't even imagine what I'm going to do
I
tomorrow.
know, I know. But I was like, yeah, when I was thinking about questions I want to ask my guests, I was like, I want to be optimistic, and I'm going to be optimistic about this. So I think having, even though there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of anxiety, I think having like the I guess the mindset of like we're gonna get through this for me
Yeah.
personally is just helpful, to be positive and like we're gonna get through this. So what am I gonna do after this? Whether it's next week or 5 months from now or 2021, like what am I gonna do? So I guess that's why I asked that. question?
Yeah, no, it's a great mindset, great state of mind to be in.
Yeah.
And let's see, 5 years.
Yeah, spring 2025.
I would like to have, um, I would like to have created or be in the process of creating and producing my own feature film,
Yeah.
hopefully astrological,
Yes.
and just basically just be able to make a living doing doing storytelling and writing and directing and producing and acting. Just make a living doing what I love. That would be enough for me.
Same. I always think about that. Like, I think sometimes when you're a kid, you have like these aspirations and these dreams of like being whatever that is, whatever like being uh an entertainer means to you. But like the older I get and the more I love just creating, like I love making stuff, I love writing. I just have this like goal of just being able to wake up every day, and whether it be, I'm writing this screenplay, I'm getting paid to write this screenplay, right? Or I'm getting paid to act in this movie, or I'm getting paid to direct this play. Like, I just want to be like, just wake up every day and have those options. I don't
Exactly.
ever
Having
want to.
options. That's what
Yeah. Like I want to wake up every day and like not have to worry about like I need to work at a restaurant or I need to work at this, because there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But I just want to be a creator 24/7, as my main job, whatever that is.
exactly.
Um, yeah. What's next? Like you said, you're writing your feature.
Yeah. I'm
Festivals.
yeah, I want to focus on my feature film that I'm
Yeah.
writing, and then teaching. I would like to start teaching more and
Yeah.
helping younger filmmakers, or not even younger, just like people who have an interest in getting behind the camera, but they never really thought about it yet. Just
Yeah.
giving them the tools to just write a script for themselves and just make it happen.
Making it happen, right?
That excites me a lot.
Is there going to be a Swipe to Death season 2 at all?
Maybe. If Netflix calls, I'll make it happen.
Yes, that's awesome. Let me see if there's any more questions, last minute questions. Yes. Julie Bell. Hey, Julie. Julie says, what was the hardest part of writing and shooting Swipe to Death?
Hardest part of writing and shooting Swipe to Death.
Yeah.
It was actually the acting for me.
Yeah.
The script I felt pretty good about. Directing I felt good about. I had a great team to support me, but it was being on set and then like having to like switch into actor mode.
Those hats, right?
Yeah. Like the days where I was just directing Rima, I don't want to say it was easy or easier, but it was less stressful for me for sure.
Yeah. Which makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And do you have a quarantine top 5? I'm trying to think about the best way that I can like name this. I haven't thought
I like
of one.
that quarantine top 5.
A quarantine, yeah. I was just like, I asked Kabir yesterday if he would give me a list. I'm gonna ask all our guests this on the Creator Corner. But of 5 things you think people should consume while we're under this whole socially distancing thing. So I was telling Kabir it could be anything. It could be like a new TV show, web series, a book. It could be a new recipe, like whatever you think. We're open. I'm open.
Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna mix it up. So I'm gonna do like some TV, some books, and some other stuff. So
yeah.
TV number 1, Kim's Convenience season 4 just dropped on Netflix.
What is that about?
It's I don't really like a lot of sitcoms, but this is a sitcom set in a Korean deli in Toronto. Oh, and it's just a very heartfelt and hilarious show, and some really great acting and great.
Is it Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Cool.
So Kim's Convenience.
Bam, that's one.
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
New episodes getting really good. I love that whole Breaking Bad world, and phenomenal acting as well.
Yeah.
Number 3, Family Karma on Bravo TV.
The reality show? I think
Yeah,
I've
so
seen that.
yes, it is another trashy Bravo
Yeah.
reality show, like in the same veins of Real Housewives, but it follows a bunch of Indian families
Yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
and yeah, it is Bravo reality trashy shit, but you know what? It's our reality trashy shit. Representation.
That's so funny because literally, I think it was the night before my roommate Greg left. We were like watching that, and I don't like reality TV. Like I hate it honestly. But we were watching it, and I was like, we both agreed. We're like, yes, Indian reality show. Like you all need that.
Yeah, and
It's trashy.
it's fun. It's just fun to watch people have hissy fits over nothing. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we're all just terrible people inside.
Yeah, you need something to escape. It's escapism, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I personally I just can't stand that. For me, my escapism is The Office, but we all have our things. So. Yeah, was that 3?
That's 3. So number 4, it's a book that I've been reading. It's called The War of Art.
The War of Art.
Yeah, not the art of war. It's the war of art.
By who? Do you know the author?
Actually, I have it here. If you hold on 1 second, I'll grab it.
I love that. The War of Arts. So we have Family Karma. That's really cool. We're gonna take one more question before we go. If you guys have any questions?
Ta-da! Oh, well, backwards. Fucking Zoom.
All break right. Through the blocks and win your inner creative battles. Oh my gosh, yes.
So this is great because Stephen Pressfield, he basically takes every single voice that's in your head that says, oh, you don't need to write right now. Oh, we'll do it later. Oh, it's not worth it. Oh, you're dumb. He addresses every single one of those voices and tells you to tell them to shut the fuck up. And
I call them vampires.
It just empowers you. It removes the blocks in your head to just start creating.
Good. Yeah.
Field you're in. So
good.
Highly recommend this.
Thank you.
And then the last one, it's more of a person. His name is Ramit Sethi. He's an author, entrepreneur, and speaker, and he talks a lot about personal finance. Gotcha. And he wrote this book that's really, really helpful. It's called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. It sounds like a gimmick. It sounds like whatever, but it's actually a really wholesome and hilarious guide to just organizing yourself financially and how to optimize like your savings and how to start investing. It's really easy to read. And he's been doing a lot of these Instagram live talks every night where he's just giving people advice on how to, take charge of their, career and their finances, especially in this time of being in a quarantine and how to just achieve your goals.
That's what's up.
He's a inspiring and funny guy to follow.
I'm all about financial literacy. I feel like that's such a thing that they don't teach us growing up. And it should be something they teach us growing up. I'm hoping like while we're under this quarantine, like when parents are homeschooling, they like incorporate this into their lessons because it's so important, I feel like. Any last minute questions? Ooh, Julie said, what is your next project? So we talked about.
Yeah, I'm writing a feature film called Astrological.
Yeah, it's just so far so good. A little bit I've read. Anything you want to say before we wrap up? I mean,
no, I just want to thank you, Jason, for having me on your show and for always being such a huge supporter and cheerleader of my work. And you energize the people around you, and it's always just fun being around you. And
thank you.
And here's to many more collaborations.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being on here. Um, yeah, when I was thinking about this, I was like, what, I've been trying to write, but it's not coming as usually as well as it usually does. And I was like, I wanna do something that's gonna like inspire me and inspire the community that we talked about. And I was just like, hearing other people like you, is so important. I feel like, and it's so needed. Art. I said art saves lives. So
It does.
everybody's home right now. Everybody is watching Netflix and reading books and you know, painting. And imagine if we didn't have that. What world would be like? Without music, without albums, without making TikTok video. Like it's so important. Even the smallest thing like a TikTok video is art to some people. So like, imagine not having that is mind blowing, and we
I
take it for
know.
granted.
A world
Artists.
without art would be a terrible place.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't want to get too political. You can follow me on my regular Facebook for that, but I just feel like artists don't get the love and respect that they should get. In this country, I feel like in other countries really appreciate artists more, which is like really sad, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we can change that.
Exactly,
We can change
exactly,
people's minds. We can
exactly.
inspire through our art.
Facts. Yeah, so I want to thank you. I was gonna do the last part of this by myself, but I want to do it with you. So I'm gonna keep you on. If you can stay for like 3 more minutes while I wrap
Yeah.
up. So I just want to thank you, Kabir, of course, again for being here, for sharing your knowledge, for sharing your art, your gift with us, for talking for over an hour with me. I didn't plan it to go this long, but I really appreciate you tuning in and being here, um, for creating good work, for giving. I'm not saying you represent all South Asians, obviously, but for just creating a voice and for continuing a representation for others to see as well, which is so important. So thank you for that. Um,
You
Next
make me
week we're gonna
cry,
have.
Jason.
Oh, you make me cry. And I love this. Thank you. Honestly, we are both alone, so I guess we're just so emotional and like we want to like stay on. But I'm an Aquarius, so I kind of like being alone. Like this has been so bittersweet. It's like I like it, but I don't at the same time. It's very weird. But next Friday or this Friday, we have Alana Johnson is going to be sitting down with me. Alana. She was in one of your projects as
Lana.
well. We love Alana. She's incredible. Um, I want to recommend something for people. Is this book called Awkward Black Girl: The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl by Issa Rae. Issa Rae is literally one of my heroes. Before I did my web series, or when I started writing what was going to become my web series, my friend Mike told me to watch her show. She had a YouTube show called Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, and it is one of the most like low budget quality web series, but there's so much heart in it and so much like you can see her promise of greatness in that, and she didn't have a huge budget, she didn't have that much help, but she created something that it's so funny even now. And to go from that, her little YouTube show, to having a hit show on HBO called Insecure, which comes out next week. Season 4 comes back next week. It was making me kind of reread this. I never reread books, and I was like, I saw this in my room, and I was like, it's all beat up because I love it so much. But I was
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna
that's
start
great.
reading.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, right.
It's a well-loved book.
It's a well-loved book. It's probably was just in my backpack for so long, and but I love her, and I love everything she stands for. And I want to just give her this little shout out and to encourage people if they can pick this book up whenever we get out, or they can order it. It's really good. I want to leave a little quote. It's a very short one, and it says, "Creativity takes courage," and that's by Henri Matisse, which I think you can relate to that, Kabir. I think we all can.
Yeah.
Um, what we do is I'm not trying to like hype up what we do, but to bear your words and your soul and to share your art with other people, it's scary. It's scary, and I think you have to be brave to do it and to, I guess, share something that's like more than it's just an opinion. You know, it's like you're sharing yourself with other people to critique and whatnot. So I really resonated with that quote this week. And yeah, join us next week, or Friday rather. Join us on Friday with Alana. Sunday, if you guys want to join our meetings at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time, we do little meetings where we share scripts and people sing and people share monologues. It's a really beautiful community that we're happy to have during this time. One of the plus sides to this is that it's online. So we have people from Tennessee that came in last week, and like California and Jersey. Like, it's just really awesome that we're able to get so many different people in because we're online doing this. Yeah, and if anybody wants to make a donation on our Artist Kabila website, we have a little donation box there. And we also have a lot of COVID resources as well on the website. Well, they're updated. So check it out if you need support. I thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you, Kabir, for being here with me. And
thank you, Jason, for doing all this, putting the show on.
It's fun. We're having a good time. Well, thank you guys. And yeah, we'll see you on Friday with Alana.
Watch Swipe to Death.
Yes, watch Swipe to Death. I'm going to put all the links in the video so people, when they rewatch this, hopefully they can just click on it. But yeah, Swipe to Death. All 7 episodes are fantastic. Yeah, thank you guys.